All right, everybody. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the topic of legacy and which one of the Inya instinctual variant types is a type that would seek after building a legacy. So this video comes as a response to a previous video that I made where I was going over the instinctual variants for Enneagram. It's a dope video, suggest you check it out. But basically, what really stuck out to me was that the source that I was using, the website, which was using Dr. Claudio Naranjo's material as their primary source, they mentioned that the SX type, the one-to-one, is the type that, because they're concerned about leaving something after, like having a deep personal relationship with someone, but then they also mentioned that the SX instinctual variant type cares a lot about legacy and leaving something behind. And it could just be through having kids, or it could be through spreading different ideas. Now, this was a little bit interesting to me. I mean, it stuck out as being a little bit strange because I don't really think that there's anything about leaving a legacy that would be one-to-one. If anything, leaving a legacy sounds more like it's one to many or many to more, right? So, yeah, this video is going to be about the Enneagram legacy, which one of the Enneagram types, instinctual variant types, would be the type that would seek after legacy the most. We're going to talk about what is legacy. We're going to talk about why does it matter. We're going to go over some arguments for and against. And we're going to get to the bottom of this, all right? So, yeah. Okay, so I got a couple points, and I have the definition of legacy pulled up here. So according to Google, it said the first thing we have to do before trying to talk about anything is define the terms that we're using. We got to make sure that we're speaking the same language, so to say, that we're using the same terms and definition, that we're trying to describe the same thing. So according to Google, legacy is a lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. So, to my way of thinking, how I understand this is that legacy is all about dropping a big boulder in a lake, and instead of outward ripples, the ripples turn to waves. So let's talk about legacy and why that actually matters. Let's talk about the arguments against legacy and the arguments for. Quite a lot of people say some pretty interesting things, and by that I mean interesting arguments for why the pursuit of legacy is a pointless thing to do. And it really mainly centers around the idea that random people don't care about you. You won't live long enough to actually see the fruits of your labor, so to say. And what I think is going on here is I think at the core of this idea that goes against, that speaks against chasing after legacy is that the core idea is that you shouldn't seek approval from other people. That's what I hear. That's basically the message that's being sent. The thing here is that although I personally do agree with that message, right? That you shouldn't really like go around pursuing or trying to gain approval from random people you don't know or will never meet. I don't think that's what legacy is really all about. I think it misunderstands what the point of having a legacy is. So now I'm going to go into the arguments for legacy. So when we talk about leaving a legacy, my argument for it would be this. The reason why you should orient all your actions towards leaving a legacy is because leaving a legacy, it's when you think in terms of leaving a legacy, an interesting thing happens here, which is you simultaneously think about the future and the present. You simultaneously gear all your behavior and your action to have maximum output in terms of the future, so you can be remembered for as long as possible, and also maximum impact in the present moment. So in a way, you optimize yourself in the present and in the future at the same time. Not only does that happen, but you're also doing things for yourself in a very selfish way, to be honest, but at the same time, in a very selfless way, doing something for other people. So let's break that down for a second, okay? Let's talk about the time component. All right. For you to leave when a person says they want to leave a legacy, they're asking themselves, okay, what do I want to be remembered for? What do I want to leave behind? These sorts of questions by default get you thinking about long-term things, right? What do I want to be known for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now? What do I want to be known for? All right. For example, Elon Musk wants to be known as the first person who colonized Mars. That's a legacy. He wants to be known as that. He wants to be the space Christopher Columbus, basically. Right? That's a legacy because he's thinking about the future. But at the same time, to execute on your legacy, to drop the rock in the big lake, forces you to do things in the present moment that have the maximum amount of impact and influence on your surrounding environment. Right? The maximum amount of you optimize the experience, you make it absolutely memorable for you and for everybody else around you. And it's those memories in people that exist. So at the same time, you are optimizing for the long term and the present and the short term, the here and now. Now, when it comes to you versus the self, right? So we talked about the time and the space. Now we're talking about you and and other people. Of course, like I said, the desire to have a legacy, be remembered, to be known, satisfies your own ego and of wanting to be important. Cool. Let's be honest. That is a big component of it, right? But at the same time, it also satisfies the part of you that wants to be selfless, that wants to help other people and give something to others. Like you won't even be able to, like, you may not be in direct contact with the person you're helping, but you're helping them either way, nevertheless, right? This is like why movies and music are such great things, because you can build, make, create something that will last decades, decades for sure, and maybe into the centuries, right? I mean, think about it. You watch a movie that was made before you were even born by a person you don't even know, but yet that movie has so much influence and impact on who you are as a person today, despite this being created decades before you were born, and you don't even know who the person is that created it. Yet that person has more of an influence and of an impact, positive or negative, by the way, because the thing about legacy is that it's really positive, or it's neutral. It's a neutral thing. There are a lot of people with negative legacies, like Hitler. But the point is, let's just assume it's a positive one. The person has more of a positive impact on your life than your next door neighbor, or more than some of the people that you've been surrounded with your whole life. And that's really a crazy thought to have, right? Because it goes to show that what you do actually does matter, and what you don't do also matters, right? Because, like I said, everything you do or don't do throws a big rock into the metaphorical lake. So, and then of course the argument of, so that's why I don't really agree with the whole, well, you won't be alive to even see your leg. That's not really the point, because when you start doing what it takes to actually create a legacy, to leave legacy behind, you start behaving in ways that immediately change your day to day. So you will experience an enhanced quality of your life when you act and behave in ways to obtain your legacy. And the future aspect, the part of it that's okay, that the impact that happens years from now, the permanent change, the permanent shift in the circumstances and conditions that people have to exist in, that happens after you're gone, but it's felt by other people. And I think while you're alive, you know if what you did is going to last long or not, right? Like you sort of have that satisfaction of saying, yeah, I know I did this amazing thing, and it's probably going to be still amazing way after when I'm dead. So it's not like you suffer now and you live nothing in the hopes that you'll be successful after you're dead. Like those famous like those rappers or artists in general who no one knows. They were never famous, but then they died, whether it be overdose from drugs or getting some gang related violence. They get killed, and then their music starts to blow up. That's not really what I'm talking about here. That's a different thing, right? That's something else. But that can happen. But it's different, right? Not a, so yeah. So now comes the question: how do you find your legacy? How do you create your legacy? And then let's answer the question of which of the Enneagram instinctual variants cares the most about them. All right. So the way I understand is this: the key to actually obtaining your legacy or to build your legacy, right? I'm not going to say obtain. You're not. A legacy is not something. A legacy isn't something you grab or something you capture. It's something you build. All right, whether concretely or abstractly, it's something you're crafting over time. So what I'd say is this: the key to building your legacy is through passion. That it starts there. All right. The way I see it is this: so the transformation that has to take place is this. First, you find your passion. Your passion gives you purpose. Your purpose gives you devotion. Devotion gives you competency. Like, right, you become really good at what you do. Your enhanced capabilities, your competency creates memories. All right, because you're so good at what you do, you leave memories in other people. Everybody remembers. And those memorable experiences create like your legacy. All right. So yeah, I mean, for the part of memories, you can substitute it with impact because you create an impact, you create memories. So I see them as being synonymous, right? So that's what it is. So let's go over it again. First, you have to find passion, because again, passion is the thing that makes you go through pain. I can do another video on just passion itself, to be honest, because passion is not just about. I think people have a misunderstanding of what passion really is. It's not just doing whatever you feel like doing because you like doing it, and like that dumb hippie bullshit of, oh, I'm so happy because I feel like doing it and it makes me feel. It's not that bullshit. What passion is basically it's you saying, okay, doesn't matter what I do, I'm gonna suffer. So I want to suffer doing this thing. This is the type of pain that I want to go through. That's the type of pain that I'm okay with, right? Because you're gonna go through it whether you want to or not. But the point being, you find your passion. Passion turns to purpose because then now you understand why you're doing what you're doing, which turns to devotion. Which honestly, in my opinion, I think is a devotion to me is a higher quality strain of ambition. Right? Ambition is a bit strange to me because it's too externally, outwardly. To me, it's like short term. I'm not trying to bash on ambition here, but I feel like devotion is a form of ambition, but just at a higher commitment level. But anyways, passion leads to purpose. Purpose leads to devotion. And once you're actually devoted to something, right, you become that thing. Then that's when you gain competency, capabilities, and skills, which lead to you having an impact slash memories. Again, like I said, they're synonymous with each other, which builds your legacy, creates your legacy. That's how I look at it, right? So to answer the question, right, which of the Enneagram instinctual variants would be the one that seeks after legacy the most? I'd have to say it's the SO type. Purely because the SO, the concept of legacy itself is a very social thing. It's not a one-to-one. It's a one to many and a many to more, like I said earlier. To be an SO instinctual variant is to be concerned with the group. Who knows what? Who has what? who's connected to who. Where does this person stand in the pecking order, right? It's more of an external focus. You're concerned with the social dynamics of what's happening around you. And social dynamics, the thing is, I feel like whenever people throw that term, it has too much of a soft, almost, I don't know, the connotations of it, like you think of, oh, how do you hang out with friends? That's not it. I mean, it's social is anything to do with a group. So how companies are formed, how wars are fought, how political systems are created. I feel like there's too much of a focus on FE when we use the word social, if for all the socionics and MBTI folks out there, and not TE, but when really it's with both aspects, right? So that being said, so ultimately I'd say it's the SO, instinctual variant of Enneagram. That is the type that's going to seek out legacy the most. All right, that about does it for this video. So if you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and yeah, peace out.